If you've been feeling more tired than usual, catch a cold frequently, or notice that your hair is falling out more than it should, perhaps the problem isn't something complex or rare. It could simply be a lack of an essential but often overlooked mineral, zinc. It acts silently on more than 300 processes in the human body, and yet most people do not even consider the possibility of being deficient in this nutrient. Studies show that more than 30% of the world's population has some degree of zinc deficiency. And the most worrying thing is that this deficiency often goes unnoticed for years, while the body tries, in vain, to compensate for its absence. It is not uncommon for symptoms to be confused with stress, poor diet, or even premature aging. But the truth is, your body may be screaming for help, and you still don't realize it. In this video, you will learn about the 7 most common signs that your body is begging for more zinc. This is not guesswork, but evidence based on clinical studies and medical observations. By understanding these signs, you will be able to act in advance, regain your vitality, and avoid problems that, in the long term, could compromise your well-being. Stay tuned, because sometimes the symptoms you ignore on a daily basis are actually cries for help in disguise. And the answer may lie in a simple adjustment to your diet or paying attention to the signals your body is already giving. Now that you understand the importance of zinc and how its lack can silently affect your health, let's get straight to the point. The 7 signs that indicate your body is crying out for it. Number 1. Severe hair loss. We're not just talking about a few strands on your pillow or comb. When zinc deficiency sets in, hair loss intensifies, becoming visible when bathing, brushing, and even on clothes. This happens because zinc directly participates in the health of hair follicles. Without it, the hair growth cycle is interrupted, and the hair begins to weaken and fall out excessively. In many cases, people look for fortifying shampoos and expensive treatments, but they don't look inside at the basic nutrition that the body is asking for. Number 2. Low immunity. If you frequently catch a cold, live with that feeling that you almost have the flu, or notice that your wounds take longer than usual to heal, it's time to turn on the warning signal. Zinc is essential for the proper functioning of immune system cells. It helps produce white blood cells and regulate the inflammatory response. Without it, the body loses its line of defense and becomes vulnerable to recurring infections and slower recovery. Number 3. Skin problems. Zinc deficiency can cause or worsen acne, dermatitis, dryness, and even wounds that don't heal properly. This is because it is responsible for regulating sebum production, controlling inflammation, and accelerating the cell renewal process. The skin, which is the largest organ in the body, responds quickly to the absence of nutrients. And zinc, in this context, is a key element in maintaining the integrity of the skin barrier. Number 4. Difficulty concentrating and memory lapses. In a world with excess stimuli and distractions, it is easy to attribute a lack of focus to a busy routine. But in many cases, the explanation is biochemical. Zinc plays a fundamental role in the regulation of neurotransmitters, such as GABA and glutamate, which directly affect our ability to focus, memory, and logical reasoning. When it is missing, the brain feels it. Simple tasks start to seem more difficult, and the mind loses agility. Number 5. Loss of appetite and change in taste. This is one of the most curious manifestations of zinc deficiency. People who previously ate well start to feel less hungry, and food seems tasteless. This happens because zinc is involved in the production of enzymes that act directly on taste and smell. Elderly people are particularly affected by this symptom, which further worsens the condition, as poor diet perpetuates the deficiency. Number 6. Weak, brittle nails with white spots. Have you ever noticed small, light spots on your nails? They can be the result of trauma, but they can also signal that your body is lacking zinc. Furthermore, the nail structure becomes more fragile, prone to breakage, peeling, and slow growth. This occurs because zinc participates in the formation of keratin, a protein essential for the health of nails and hair. And number 7, digestive problems, such as frequent diarrhea or dysregulated bowels. Zinc is a crucial mineral for intestinal health, helping to maintain the integrity of the mucosa and balance the bacterial flora. When it is low, the intestine loses its absorption and protection capacity, favoring episodes of diarrhea, gas, and abdominal discomfort. This creates a vicious cycle. The body loses zinc through feces, and the deficiency worsens even further. These 7 signs, although common, should not be normalized. They are clear alerts that something needs to be adjusted. And the first step is to recognize that the problem may be at its base, a silent deficiency that compromises several of the body's systems at the same time. If you have already noticed any of these symptoms, perhaps the answer is closer and simpler than you think. But before talking about what to do, it is important to understand who are the people most vulnerable to this type of disability. A hidden superfood that can take your results even further. In addition to the foods in this video, there is a little-known superfood that can boost your results. The Moringa Magic Supplement combines the incredible benefits of this plant to reduce inflammation, increase your energy, and strengthen your body. Want to know more? The link is in the pinned comment and in the description. Now, keep watching, because the next foods on this list could transform your health. Not every organism responds the same way to a lack of zinc. Some people are more predisposed to developing this deficiency, whether due to physiological, metabolic issues, or eating habits. Understanding who is most vulnerable is crucial to knowing where to focus attention and take action before symptoms worsen. The elderly are at the top of that list. Over the years, the body naturally reduces its ability to absorb nutrients, and zinc is no exception. Furthermore, many elderly people consume less animal protein, which is one of the main sources of the mineral, which contributes to the imbalance. This combination means that even an apparently adequate diet is not enough to maintain ideal levels. Another group that deserves to be highlighted are vegetarians and vegans. Although there are vegetable sources of zinc, such as legumes, seeds, and whole grains, they contain phytates, substances that inhibit the absorption of the mineral in the intestine. This means that even when eating foods rich in zinc of plant origin, the body may not be using this nutrient as it should. Therefore, it is common for those who follow diets based exclusively on plants to need to monitor their levels of this mineral more closely. Pregnant and breastfeeding women also enter the attention zone. During pregnancy and breastfeeding, a woman's body increases its demand for zinc, as it is essential for cell growth and the development of the baby's immune system. When this additional need is not met by food, the mother's body goes into deficit. People with intestinal disorders such as Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, or irritable bowel syndrome tend to be zinc deficient frequently. This occurs because the compromised intestine loses efficiency in absorbing minerals and can also cause continuous losses through diarrhea. The same goes for those who have already undergone bariatric surgery or have a history of malabsorption. And we cannot fail to mention the impact of alcohol. Excessive consumption of alcoholic beverages compromises the integrity of the intestinal wall and impairs the transport and retention of zinc in the body. People who drink frequently, even if they are not in a state of dependence, may be weakening their defenses without realizing it. What all these groups have in common is the need for increased attention. Many of the symptoms that arise may seem disconnected: more irritated skin here, a recurring infection there, difficulty concentrating there, but the root cause may be the same: a subtle and persistent zinc deficiency. If you identify with any of these profiles or know someone who fits them, don't ignore the signs. Knowing that there are specific vulnerabilities allows you to act more consciously and prevent problems before they become bigger. And now that you know who is most exposed, it's time to talk about how zinc can be obtained naturally and effectively through food. The good news is that correcting zinc deficiency doesn't require miracle formulas or radical changes. In most cases, it all starts with food. When well-oriented and varied, the diet is capable of providing adequate amounts of this mineral, respecting the needs of each stage of life. Among the foods richest in zinc, oysters are the clear leader. Little consumed on a daily basis, but extremely concentrated in this nutrient, they are a true medicinal source for those who need to raise their levels quickly. Next come lean red meat, such as duckling and coxsone soft, which in addition to protein, offer good doses of highly bioavailable zinc. That is, the body can absorb it easily. Chicken is also an affordable and effective ally. Especially the dark part of the meat, such as the thigh and drumstick, contains more zinc than the breast. For those who consume eggs, they are a good complementary alternative, especially if included regularly in the weekly menu. In the plant kingdom, pumpkin seeds deserve to be highlighted. Rich in zinc, they can be consumed in salads, yogurts, or even as a snack between meals. Chickpeas, lentils, and other legumes are also good sources, as are nuts, especially cashews and para nuts. However, it is worth remembering that in these foods, the presence of phytates, natural compounds found in vegetables, can reduce the absorption of the mineral. To improve this absorption, some simple strategies can be applied. One of them is to combine sources of zinc with foods rich in vitamin C, such as citrus fruits, peppers, and broccoli. Vitamin C helps break down phytates and facilitates the use of zinc in the intestine. Another tip is to soak legumes before preparing them, which also helps to reduce substances that hinder the absorption of minerals. Assembling a balanced dish with quality proteins, varied vegetables, and seeds is a great start to preventing deficiency. Even those who follow a more restrictive diet can, with planning, achieve good amounts of zinc without relying exclusively on supplements. The key is consistency. There is no point consuming a source rich in zinc once a week and expecting great results. It is the eating habit, repeated day after day, that builds internal stores and ensures that the body functions efficiently. Although a balanced diet is, in most cases, sufficient to maintain adequate zinc levels, there are situations in which supplementation becomes not only useful, but essential. The first step to making this decision safely is understanding that symptoms are not always sufficient to confirm the deficiency. Therefore, laboratory tests are essential. They clearly show whether there is a need and, if so, the degree of need. People who are part of risk groups, such as the elderly, vegetarians, pregnant women, individuals with intestinal diseases, or those who frequently use alcohol, should pay special attention. If food is not meeting demand, the use of capsules can be an effective and safe solution, as long as it is guided by a healthcare professional. Zinc supplements are available in different forms, such as zinc citrate, gluconate, or bisglycinate, these versions being more absorbable by the body. The choice between them will depend on the therapeutic objective, individual tolerance, and cost benefit. But it's important to warn, excess zinc is also harmful. When consumed in doses much higher than recommended, it can cause side effects such as nausea, headache, loss of appetite, and even weakening of immunity, precisely the opposite of what is expected. Furthermore, excess zinc competes with other minerals, such as copper, and can cause a silent nutritional imbalance. Therefore, the recommendation is clear: only supplement zinc if there is a real indication and follow-up. Ideally, it should be used as a complement to a rich and varied diet, and not as a substitute. Now that you know the signs of deficiency, the most vulnerable groups, the best food sources and precautions with supplementation, there is one last step left: understanding how to integrate all of this into practical actions that can transform your health. It's time to close the cycle with awareness and attitude. Your body talks all the time. It sends signals, asks for help, shows that something is out of balance. The challenge is to recognize these signs before they develop into bigger problems. Throughout this video, we saw that seemingly disconnected symptoms, such as hair loss, low immunity, difficulty concentrating, or weak nails, can have the same origin: a lack of zinc. And now you know it. You also know who is most at risk, which foods can correct this deficiency, and when supplementation should come into play. With this knowledge, you have the power to prevent, recover, and strengthen your health from the inside out. The best part? It all starts with small changes: a more nutritious dish, a more conscious eating routine, paying attention to the signals your body is already sending. This does not require perfection, but rather consistency. If you identify with any of the signs mentioned, consider talking to a trusted nutritionist or doctor. A simple exam can prevent future complications and pave the way for a life with more energy, resistance, and well-being. If this content was useful to you, like this video, Share it with your loved ones and subscribe to the channel to receive more tips like this. Our goal is to help you live better, healthier, and more independent, because your body deserves care. And he always lets you know when he needs you. Just listen.